ever seen this viral video? This is Ryan O'Leary, better known as Tuck. Today he sings and plays bass in metalcore band Fit for a King, but his journey to joining the band is nothing short of inspiring. Ryan was working as a waiter in New York when his friend Chris, a tour manager, connected him with Fit for a King, who, at the time, needed a new bassist. Over the course of 3 months, Ryan would send videos of himself singing and playing guitar until finally, the call he had been waiting for came through. He was asked to show up in 3 days. Without hesitation, Ryan packed up, left his job and apartment, and hit the road for Texas. Talk about a leap of faith. He had 1 week to learn 9 songs. During that time, he gained a few nicknames, Fish and Scab, until finally, they settled on Tuck, because of his habit of always tucking in his shirt. After a few shows together, the big moment came during a festival in New Jersey, where, in front of his family, Ryan was officially announced as a permanent member of the band. Talk about a dream come true. In the end, Tuck's perseverance and passion paid off, landing him a role as one of the key faces in Fit for a King. March 5th, 1983, exactly 41 years ago to this day, Metallica made history when Cliff Burton made his debut as the band's newest bassist. It all went down at Stone, a legendary club in the San Francisco Bay Area widely known as the birthplace of thrash metal. Metallica had just started making waves 6 months earlier and already had a small gathering behind them. The setlist was killer, featuring classics like Seek and Destroy, Whiplash, Jump in the Fire, and Am I Evil. On top of that, Metallica had so much confidence in Cliff already that they even gave him his first solo during the set, a sign of things to come. But that's not all. This show also happened to be the first time a young Kirk Hammett, playing guitar for Exodus, crossed paths with Metallica, foreshadowing his future role in the band. A historic night that would inevitably set the band up for their future successes. Cliff went on to record bass on Metallica's first 3 albums before his tragic death in 1986. But his legacy lives on, not just for his incredible bass skills, but also his infectious personality and love for life. His contributions to Metallica and bass guitar continues to inspire musicians of all types to this day. Known for their dark lyrics, heavy riffs, and brutal vocals, Whitechapel has made a name for themselves within the deathcore community. But what's with the name Whitechapel? Shouldn't the band's name be something as equally dark and gruesome? Where does the name even come from? Well, deep in the heart of London's East End lies the district of Whitechapel. The significance? It's the home of the infamously unsolved crimes of Jack the Ripper. Inspired by the district's disturbing past, the metal band Whitechapel emerged. But the inspiration doesn't end with their name. Their debut album, The Somatic Defilement, spends the majority of the tracks plunging listeners deep into the mind of Jack himself. Chord and every scream in each of these tracks is a journey into the heart of darkness as it narrates his gruesome deeds from a chilling first-person perspective. So it goes without saying that considering the history associated with the name and the brutality of the music, Whitechapel probably is the perfect name for this band. Parkway Drive, the iconic 5-piece Australian metal band, has accomplished a rare feat of retaining original members for over 2 decades. Well, except for Jaya, the bassist who's been filling in for 17 years. But more on him later. As their fame surged, so did their responsibilities. But instead of outsourcing, the band learned to take on new roles themselves. However, the division of tasks never felt fair, sparking a desire to revisit their revenue split and causing even more internal tension. In 2022, after a hectic recording process for their latest album, they turned to therapy for reconciliation. After the 4 original members recovered from unleashing their pent-up rage on each other, Jaya's years of neglect came to light, evoking empathy for their bandmate. Jaya was invited to therapy where he was officially recognized and finally made an official member. With every concern left out in the open, Parkway Drive can now face the future once again as brothers, united through their music. Meet Josean Orta, the rhythmic force behind Fit for an Autopsy. Raised in Puerto Rico, Josean's love for music started young, inspired by legends like Tito Puente and Ray Barreto. But it would be bands like Rush and Kiss that fueled his passion for rock drums. He sought a deeper connection with the bands he loved, so he learned English by translating lyrics for songs by bands like Slayer and Pantera. To pursue his dream, he moved to New Jersey, hustling as a starving musician, playing drums for different bands. As fate would have it, through a mutual friend, he met guitarist Pat Sheridan, leading to an audition for Fit for an Autopsy. Without a drum set handy, he air drummed along to each song on a subway ride to the audition. When he played, the band was impressed, landing him the spot. Today, Josean plays in multiple bands, has acquired brand sponsorships, and has met many of his childhood heroes. He hopes his journey serves as an inspiration to fellow Hispanics to overcome adversity, chase their dream, and become whatever they want to be. Let's journey back to 1978, a pivotal year for metal. As punk music was rising in popularity, metal needed to step up to compete. Enter Judas Priest with their game-changing album, Killing Machine. Now, if you're in the US and feeling confused, don't worry, you're spot on. Killing Machine is known as Hell Bent for Leather in the States. Why the switch? Well, amidst rising gun violence, the band faced backlash over the album's original title, even risking radio airplay and record store sales. But the name change turned out to be a blessing. Hell Bent for Leather perfectly captured the album's gritty vibe and paved the way for Judas Priest's iconic leather-clad image, complete with metal spikes. This album didn't just get a name change in the US, It was a game change, redefining metal sound and style, and paved the way for Judas Priest to become the true metal legends they are today.